Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Yes, sir.
Yes, I have telecommunications operators are expected to start disconnecting mobile phone lines that are not linked to the NIN. This is following the expiration of the deadline, September 14th. So we have the NCC saying, first of all, you know, there was a deadline August 1st, where a lot of people started sending stories around that they were doing it so that they could interfere with the protest that was happening. And because of that, they didn't want to be affiliated to any political sentiment. They moved it to September 15th. And still there are a number of people who haven't yet done the linkage. But this is the final warning. They're going to start disconnecting numbers. And it goes to show that maybe there is a reason why some people are refusing to link their numbers to their NIN. They also mentioned that, yes, they know that it's not like an easy process going to these centers, but you must visit those centers and you must regularize your numbers. So starting today, I think a lot of people will realize if you've not done it, your lines will be disconnected. And at this point, who do you blame?
I cannot blame anybody.
I think they should also charge the centers, because oftentimes you go there and they're telling you there's no network is down, you have to come back, you have to come back. It affected me personally to link and it was just because of the name. I had Oluwadamlola somewhere and I had Damlola somewhere, and he said you had to go and recorrect BVN and everything. Yeah. And I've gone to my network provider like twice. There's been no network. Oh, you have to come back and come back. Right. So
yes. I have the human interest angle. So you remember the building collapse that happened in Benin?
I do.
Yeah, yes. So they have the survivors angle on this article. One of the survivors, Dorcas Olushola, yesterday was interviewed by Punch, and she mentioned that she was just miraculous. It was miraculous that she was able to survive it. This collapse was due to flood. The building had been raining for hours. All of the survivors had the same account of how it had started raining very early at 4 a.m. up until 7 a.m. before the building collapsed, and the water was gushing into the building. The entire downfloor is a 3-story, but the entire the ground floor of the building was flooded. People there was trying to escape upstairs with their things, and before you knew it, the building collapsed on all of them, but they were able to get everybody rescued. Wow. And they were able to survive. So they are at the trauma center in the UBTH, and that's where they're being interviewed. Everybody is talking about how it was miraculous for them to have survived. The state government said they sent the fire service and rescue team immediately. They heard it and they helped everybody to safety. But, you know, Benin is a very coastal city, and flooding is irregular in Benin. So we would expect whoever is coming in since elections next weekend to have a proper plan on this drainaging and channeling of water in that state. That's the way to go. It's been done before, so you can copy.
All right, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Dangote petrol hits stations. Let's find a story of not taking. NDLEA arrests businesswoman, auto parts dealer over the UK-bound opioids and cocaine. Edo Ondo polls, Anyako task INEC security agency orders to credible elections. OBJ, IBB, Abdusalami, Guzal meet in Minna. And FG begins free CNG conversion, targets 1 million vehicles nationwide. Let me take the CNG because I'm really, really interested in that story. So the federal government has commenced the distribution of the compressed natural gas conversion kits nationwide to fast-track the change of petrol diesel-powered vehicles to the use of CNG. The program director, Michael Oluwagbemi, disclosed this during inspection of the 6 CNG conversion centers in Abuja. They have the NIPCO Oil and Gas Station, Airport Road, Kia Motors, and a few others. So he said that the CNG initiative by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will provide cheaper, cleaner vehicular fueling alternatives for Nigerians. So those of us that are dependent on fuel, we're hoping that in the coming years, we'll be more dependent on CNG. So what they've done right now is that they're giving out CNG kits nationwide to commercial vehicle owners for free. Private cars would just have to pay a fraction of the value, but they are actually going around to different states. I think they're starting off with they said they have 75 conversion centers officially in 8 states. That's Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Edo, Delta, Kogi, FCT, and Kaduna. These 8 states are the first stop, and then eventually they're going to have in Ekiti, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Abia, Enugu, and others. So the coordinator, Mrs Omolara Obile, said that the program will reduce the dependence on fuel. So I'm pretty excited because even the federal government is also very excited because they're hoping that all this back and forth we feel is because obviously we're still dependent. So when there are more conversions to CNG, more people would actually have options and not have to demand fuel. So hopefully that will also help in the pricing of fuel.
I have the NDLEA story. So NDLEA, on September 6th, they intercepted a cargo going to the United Kingdom. And they said after a thorough search, it revealed 924 bottles of codeine-based syrup weighing 135.70 kg and 5,250 tablets of Rohypnols, and they were hidden in cartons of foodstuff. The freight agent was who was presented the cargo for export. He was arrested, and then investigation led to another suspect. Adewunmi Akeem Temitope claimed that his mother, a 58-year-old woman, Mrs Adewunmi Adebola, gave him the consignment from Ibadan to hand over at to the agent to be exported. And the agent says that this is not the first time that, he had been doing this sort of business with the lady, that the woman has, that he was paid over 2.4 million naira to do the job. Already he had been given 2.1, that before he had been given a 2.1 million naira for this sort of consignment. So this is an ongoing business until she was caught this time around. You see how we call children out and say stop misbehaving, but this is a mother that has put her child in the way of the...
Vanguard, our last paper for this morning. Let's see. Final story not taking. Maiduguri flooding. FG unveils identity of 281 fleeing inmates and recaptures 7. Edo Ondo polls, the world's watching us, says Anyaku. FG delivers 1,200 CNG kits to 5 states. Then Usman has integrity to lead Labour Party, says NLC. Obi slams presidency over attempts to divert attention with US polls. Okay, which story?
I'm taking the Anyoku Edo Ondo polls, the world is watching us, and this one says that the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth and Chairman of the Patriots, Chief Emeka Anyoku, has urged the federal government and relevant institutions to ensure that the forthcoming Edo and Ondo state governorship elections, respectively, are free and fair, cautioning that the international community was watching. Anyoku made the call in an interview with the news agency. He said the Edo governorship election is scheduled for 21st of September, while the Ondo is fixed for November 16. He also said that as a diplomat and an elder statesman, he said that the expectations of people and indeed the international community were that the 2 governorship elections will be credible. He urged the government, particularly INEC, to secure the security agencies and other relevant institutions to meet the expectations of the people. And he also said that our country is preparing for Edo and Ondo governorship elections, respectively. And I have 3 observations to address the government of Nigeria, INEC, and others, which he respectively said, first, Nigerians, friends, and the whole community is watching. He also mentioned that he urges that there's credibility of the results from the forthcoming elections, that it will also depend on the level of impartiality and transparency that the election demonstrates. That's why he says the eyes are on us. And for this one, I'll say that the incoming children, or we that are coming behind them, we're already seeing the precedents that a lot of our politicians are laying. And I do not think it's good enough for the ones who want to come into politics, because by and large, we still treat politics like a do-or-die affair. And it affects us in all areas, in all spheres of life, because the enactment or the voting in of bad leaders will bring bad policies, and it will still trickle down to bad, everything will just go haywire somehow. So the world is watching us.
All right, any other story in Vanguard? I was going to take Peter Obi. So Peter Obi obviously was taken on the presidency for comparing him to Trump. So according to his spokesperson, Mr. Ibrahim Umar, he said that he was speaking in a statement titled, "The Desperate Obi traducers are kissing the dust." And he was saying that he was referring to the fact that many of his critics were dragging his name into the United States American election process, saying that they're linking him, saying that Obi is like Trump. And so we are very much aware of the motive behind these ridiculous comparisons, which is their uncanny way of currying favor to the undeserved, to currying favor so undeserved from the Democrats. Nigerians who mused over the adversary and fictitious comparison have tried to ask, will your calling Obi Trump mean that you're saying that Tinubu is Harris? I mean, just going back and forth. But it's interesting to see the comparison on both sides. Okay, let's move on now to our final paper, the Nigerian Tribune. Is there any story we've not taken here? Implementation of e-call-up system on Lekki Ekpe corridor begins. It is to spend 15 billion naira on construction of Ado Iworoko Ifaki Federal Road. And survivors of Uniben building collapse recount ordeal. Okay, which story?
I have the Lagos State is set to introduce an electronic call-up. That's the e-call-up system for managing truck movements within the Lekki Ekpe corridor. The Deputy Director of Public Affairs to the Ministry, signed a statement, and it's really about the commencement of this e-call-up system. So they said that they had actually, it would have started earlier, but they had to extend it based on a stakeholder's request, but it's going to be implemented now, and that will be September 23. They said that it is ready for implementation for sustainable, effective, and technology-driven solution in the Lekki Ekpe corridor. And I think I want to take this quote. It says, this is from the Special Advisor to the State Governor, Mr. Shalagiwa, says that the Lekki Ekpe corridor, a key economic hub in Lagos, is home to numerous industries, as we all know, including Lekki Free Trade Zone, Dangote Refinery, and the Lekki Deep Seaport. So efficient movement of goods and services is crucial for the state's economy. So the e-call-up system is an essential tool for sustainable development. So we'll love to see how it works out on the other side of town. As we know, we've had this e-call-up system on the Apapa side, and it didn't quite, it was not quite sustainable.
And Nigerian did, where we were sabotaged. They didn't adhere to the principles of parking and waiting to be called up. So we'll see if it works. I know that they are tracking, so we'll see. Hopefully technology should solve that problem. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, the only questions Nigerians are asking is, how much are we going to pay for fuel, especially the one coming from Dangote's refinery? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.